I'm Karli Hiscock. I'm a Senior Associate in the Real Estate Department here at BWB. In this short video, I will be giving a quick overview of some key provisions in leases. Other than the extent of the premises, the length of the term and the amount of rent you have to pay, I'm going to be looking at 7 areas that I like to be crucial when taking leases of retail premises. Provision 1, repairing obligations. The lease will set out provisions governing your repairing obligations. It's crucial for you to understand, before you enter into the lease, the extent of the premises that you will be responsible for maintaining, not only during the term of the lease, but also at the end of the lease. The landlord may agree that you only have to hand back the premises in the same condition as they're in at the start of the lease, but this will be a specific point for negotiation. Provision 2, disposals. This might also be referred to as alienation when you're looking at your lease. The lease will contain certain provisions relating to whether or not a tenant is permitted to transfer its lease, which is also known as assignment, underlet to a third party, or even share with other occupiers. If your business is reliant on being flexible in the use of its space, then it's crucial that you negotiate with your landlord before entering into the lease specific rights that allow you to transfer or assign your lease, underlet to a third party, or share with other occupiers. Whatever you've agreed with the landlord then needs to be included in the lease before you complete it. Provision 3, break rights. If you want the ability to terminate your lease early, then you'll need to negotiate a specific break provision with your landlord and ensure that that break is included in your lease. The landlord will seek to impose conditions on that ability to break, and you as tenant should try and limit those conditions as far as possible. Provision 4 is services and service charge. In addition to the rent, you'll also be expected to contribute towards services that the landlord is providing. So the crucial thing for you before entering into the lease is to make sure that you understand which services the landlord is providing and how much you'll be expected to pay towards those services. Provision 5 is use. It may seem an obvious point, but you need to ensure that the premises can be used for the use that you intend. You must make sure that any necessary consents, including those required under planning law, are in place before you enter into your lease. Provision 6, costs. This is more of a general comment rather than a specific provision, although there will be provisions in the lease relating to costs. The key point here is that you should minimise the amount that you're spending when you are taking on the lease. So, for example, it's important that you don't agree to pay the landlord's costs when drafting and negotiating the lease. It's usual for both parties to pay their own costs in respect of this. Provision 7, data cabling. It's important that you make sure that you understand the extent of the data cabling in the premises before you take on the lease and whether or not you'll be able to use that data cabling. If you need new cabling, you must make sure that the landlord will be on board to help you put in place the necessary arrangements with the data operators. It can also take time to install data cabling and negotiate those arrangements with the data operators, so do plan ahead. If you have any questions arising from any of the points in this video, or generally about taking on leases of premises and specifically retail premises, do not hesitate to get in contact with a member of the real estate team here at BWB.